Animal learning, Pavlov and beyond. Much of an animal's behavior depends on what it inherits from its parents, that is, on instincts. These do not change according to circumstances. Behavior which is learned, on the other hand, does vary and can adapt to different conditions. All animals can learn, but learning is easier for some species than for others. Worms and octopuses, for example, learn much more slowly than mice. Some species, chimpanzees, gorillas, and elephants, for instance, are famous for their ability to learn and to remember. And interestingly, in all species, including man, of course, learning is easier for some than for others. I.P. Pavlov, 1849-1936, a famous Russian scientist, found that dogs associated the sound of a bell with food if they always received food after hearing a bell. Of course, when they see food, most animals salivate. Pavlov discovered that after a time, salivating occurred when the dog heard the bell, even if there was no food. This was because conditioning had taken place. He called this kind of reaction a conditioned reflex. However, Pavlov also found that the effect of conditioning disappeared gradually if there was no reward. That is, the dog stopped salivating if on many occasions the bell rang but no food followed. This showed that reinforcing the animal's conditioned behavior was very important. Learning through conditioned reflexes is not the only kind of learning that animals are capable of. In laboratory experiments with rats, for instance, it has been proved that those which are brought up in a very limited, boring environment find it more difficult to learn things later than those which are brought up in stimulating environments. With more things to do, like climbing ladders, exploring tunnels, etc. It seems that, as Julian Huxley said, captivity cages minds as well as bodies. Then there is the question of intelligence. Some species can recognize colors, bees, for example. Some can recognize numbers. And some, such as chimpanzees, can do quite complicated tasks, while others, like the famous elephant that never forgets, can distinguish and remember hundreds of different commands. Some animals, especially chimpanzees and gorillas, can solve problems which are new for them, and using different kinds of codes, can even speak to the scientists studying them using sign language. In fact, many animals can communicate, but they cannot really speak. They are physically incapable of doing so. Human beings have been able to speak for thousands of years, and speaking may be the most important element in learning. Certainly, it has helped man to distinguish himself from other species.